30 seconds and counting. 25 seconds and counting. We are still go. 20 seconds. Guidance alert. The guidance system now going internal. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To viewers in Europe and Africa, good afternoon to viewers in the Western Hemisphere, good very early morning to viewers in the Pacific Rim. Welcome to the Angry Astronaut. As you can see, things a little different with me today, and some of you probably have seen this sort of thing before, and that is because I am at my producer's home slash studio this evening, so broadcasting right from where another space nut or ASN is located. So everybody say hi to him. Before we get going, this is going to be an open forum discussion. We can talk about whatever you want to, but go ahead and check in. Okay, volume a bit low, some people are saying, not sure. Hello, Hailing Island. Hey, Andrew, really glad to have you here. Thanks very much for checking in as always. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the mic and push that up just a bit. All right, we're doing some adjustment. Let's see, who else do we have? Where's everybody checking in from? Hello, Roswell, Anton Nim. Really, really appreciate you joining us today. Yep, let's hope that works out for you, Sherry, volume-wise. Hello, thank you so much. I'm not sure who made that contribution. It's an R. Oh, is that Airborne? Airborne, thank you so much for your generous support tonight, as always. And by the way, I'm going to announce this right away. I'm giving away a random a piece of merchandise to one random Super Chat supporter tonight. It's this one. We're giving away this shirt. Or if you're not this size, then I will get you one of these shirts in your size. But regardless, I'm giving away in 2029, Kiss Your Asteroids Goodbye, giving away one of those shirts tonight to one person who contributes on a Super Chat tonight. So we have Super Chat goals on both the horizontal side and the vertical side. Both of you are eligible. So just go ahead and toss in a Super Chat if you wish, and you are automatically entered. Right now, Airborne Bob is getting that shirt, unless we have some other folks who throw in a Super Chat this evening. Okay, so we've got North Central Texas as well, and we got some open questions. Hey, John Morgan, thank you for the tenor. Really, really appreciate it. Yes, indeed, I got a haircut. Also got my hair dyed, to be honest. Rocket Lab to the moon. Rocket Lab, by the way, another launch today. Their 67th launch of the Electron rocket. They are doing super well. Do I think aliens are among us? I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't seen enough evidence to suggest that there are aliens infiltrated amongst the population, if that's what you're saying. Do I think that we are being visited by some sort of extraterrestrial presence? Yes, I do. I think that we have the equivalent of Voyager 1 and 2, the alien, more advanced equivalent of Voyager 1 and 2, or the Curiosity rover, something along those lines. That's what these things are, flying around and checking us out. They're just robotic probes. In my opinion, that's what we're dealing here. What are the odds of Starship making a full orbit in 2025? 0. And I'll tell you why. By the time Starship is ready to fly again, because of that static fire problem, all they're going to do is try to do another couple of suborbital flights, maybe one or possibly two. It's going to be very difficult for Starship to return to service by the end of the year, and at most it'll be 1 or 2 flights. Damian Ward, thank you so much for the €1, and once again, you are tossed into the drawing as well. Rocket Lab stock is up. Yes, indeed, it is. I don't have a lot of stock. I don't have a lot of anything, but I do have. That is where most of my investments are. When will the next Starship launch take place? Probably beginning of fourth quarter, in my opinion, sometime in that vicinity. It's not going to be any earlier than fourth quarter. It's going to take a while. There's been a very good rundown from NASA spaceflight as to how much damage was done to the Massey's test facility. And even though it's not devastating, it's still extensive. It's going to take a while to get that to get full functionality returned. No, I haven't read Zubrin's new book. I really need to, definitely. Hello, Oleg. I really appreciate you checking in today from Dnipro, Ukraine. Really appreciate it. Always happy to have a Ukrainian visitor, of course, because we have a good friend in Ukraine who visits us in a lot of live streams, but it doesn't seem to be here tonight. Let's see, what do we have? Latest on Starliner. The latest that we get is that Boeing is still struggling with it. Again, in my opinion, it's a project that needs to be canceled. Starship suffered from a fluid hammer issue in the static fire. It extends to the second test flight as well. Could be. I mean, it's possible that, of course, then again, anything that inflicted that cataclysmic of a anomaly on the upper stage should have blown Starship up while it was flying, as opposed to just going out of control. So I'm really not too certain about that. Can we scroll back up on the chats? The text. I just saw a couple other Nazca mummies. I think I know what you're talking about there. In my opinion, those are not. Those are very interesting things that were made out of normal body parts from animals and humans by strangely inventive ancient peoples in Mesoamerica. I really don't think that those are aliens. I really, really doubt it. And yeah, you're right. There's just a lot of things that needs to be replaced. Again, NASA spaceflight gave a complete rundown on it, and it's extensive. It is extensive. So it's an update on a case from Mars, is according to Redcoat. Yeah, I really need to check it out, because a case from Mars, obviously Zubrin makes a very good. It's been his. For those of you who don't know, Robert Zubrin is a very well-known physicist, astrophysicist, and also engineer who's been aggressively pursuing the colonization of Mars. He's been strongly believing in that way before Elon threw his hat in the ring. And he wrote a book called A Case for Mars, where he argued all of the benefits that a Martian colony could bring to the human race. Ever since then, he's been adding on to that and trying to integrate Elon's vision into his. Matt Brown, UAPs. Honestly, I haven't heard enough about what Matt had to say about that. I need to go ahead and review it. That sounds like a good topic for a video, though. So definitely would like that as well. Let's see. From Kyle, we have designed a high-altitude plane, release a craft above 50,000 feet for reusable space flights and more efficient than launches from the ground. Yeah. I think that really It's not quite an SSTO, single stage to orbit, because you're launching it from a very high altitude. But nevertheless, I think that is a good idea, and many designs have been proposed. And if any of them were to come to maturity, that would be an excellent reusable solution to get a lot of payload to orbit. Crossover Maniac, thank you so much for your support. Once again, you are entered into the drawing. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, I'm giving away this shirt, the asteroid shirt in 2029. Kiss your asteroids goodbye to one lucky super chat supporter tonight. So in any event, thank you very much, Crossover Maniac. We're essentially launching the Hindenburg every time. That's a good point, Sherry, and that's why we're not putting people on this thing. And that's why, for those of you who saw my video on this topic, I kind of doubt as to whether or not we're ever going to put people on Starship. It just seems to be a little too dicey. There are things about this rocket that I don't know are ever going to be corrected to a high enough degree of safety to where putting humans on it is going to make any sense. Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't put the rocket into orbit and then transfer crew there and then transfer them back when the rocket comes back. Yeah, that would be possible. Sam, yes, I have seen the video of the Honda rocket that took off and landed. Just a surprise, out of nowhere achievement. The Japanese launched this rocket only up to, about 1,000 meters or so, I think, and then brought it back down and landed it. But an incredible hop test that was highly successful. And again, Honda doing this just out of nowhere. Launching Starship 10 without a static fire, boy, I'd be surprised with that. I think that'd be a bad idea. I really think that'd be a very bad idea to try to launch Starship without a static fire. I think they're just going to have to repair the damage to Massey's and try to do things as best as they could. Washington Law President William Kirk, boy, I haven't the slightest. I don't actually even know who that is. I really wish that I could, but yes, indeed, Honda all of a sudden out of nowhere, doing a very impressive reusable demonstration. Javier, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for that. Once again, you are explaining to how in the 60s it took one rocket to get to the moon. Starship would take 30. Okay, Javier, let me go ahead and explain that, because this is something that a lot of people, as a matter of fact, the people who argue that we never went to the moon in the first place even use this as an argument. The Apollo capsule and LEM combined was just a few tons. It was a very, very lightweight spacecraft with only 3 astronauts on board, capable of landing 2 people. Starship, on the other hand, can carry 100 metric tons out to the moon. In addition to that, because it's so big with a massive 9-meter fairing and everything like that, it weighs a lot. It's over 100 metric tons for the vehicle empty, plus the thank you, ASN. Sorry, I was just communicating with the producer for a second. So over 100 tons for the vehicle empty, plus the payload, plus all of that fuel, 1,200 metric tons. And actually with Block 2, it's even more than that. So that's a huge, huge amount of mass compared to what Saturn V had to send all the way out. It's so much mass that Super Heavy and Starship combined virtually run out of fuel completely just to get the damn thing into orbit. And then you need loads and loads of additional rockets to refuel that Starship to get all of that mass all the way out to the moon. Some argue that this is just not a good way to go to the moon. And at this point, I'm starting to think that they may be right. PetMets, thank you so much for your support. Watching what is happening with Starship, especially with what's regression on 7, 8, and 9, we should continue with SLS since the only working crew-rated heavy lift at this time. Totally agree. And actually, tomorrow I'll be making a point on that when I'm talking about China's current progress. They made a huge step forward in their moon program recently, and they are on the verge of passing NASA up. And if we get rid of SLS and Orion at this early stage, they will be way past it. Being the first base on Mars, I'd say SpaceX, just because the will is there, just because Elon has loads of money and he wants to do this more than anybody else does. So I would say that I'm still betting on SpaceX being the first organization to put a base on Mars, just because they want to more than anybody else, and they have the money and the expertise to do it. Sebastian, thank you. That was a very kind comment. I really, really appreciate it. Wanted to ditch the last Starship version 2 flights. It's not working. Just go with version 3 now. Maybe so. It's not a bad idea. I'm not sure if anybody's really made that suggestion or put it out there. But of course, version 3 is an even bigger upgrade. It's even bigger. It's even heavier. Of course, it has, more fuel, more engines, etc. So technically, it should be able to carry a lot more payload up there. But again, the bigger this rocket gets, the more problematic it might be for a number of different things. A smaller vehicle to shuttle people up and down from LEO, yes, or maybe even shuttling people up and down in lunar orbit too. Jamar, I know Stephen Greer's UAP witness testimonies. I only know of him. I haven't read all of his testimonies, Jamar. Believe me, the UFO thing, thanks so much for your support, by the way. The UFO thing fascinates me, but I haven't chased it down the rabbit hole as far as a lot of my colleagues have. There are so many things that I don't know, and so many things that I'm very enthusiastic about learning. Sherry, thank you so much for your generosity. Wow. Thank you. That's very moving. Thank you. I really appreciate your help. Do you think you should go from 9 to 12 meters? Seems like a lot of these considerations about height, gaming the square cube law. Maybe. Of course, then that's an even bigger rocket, which of course makes that second stage even heavier. It's just massive and heavy. So yeah, Rob Zilli, yes, to answer your question, I have. But only recently. And that was at an RAF base, actually, RAF Lakenheath, at a time when there were lots of drone sightings. And I saw several different objects, lights in the sky that I couldn't explain. The one that blew my mind more than anything is the one that tracked like a satellite across the sky and then just stopped. I mean, I've seen satellites over and over and over again. This was a bright satellite that tracked just like a satellite, and all of a sudden it stopped, hovered, and disappeared. Whoa. That blew my mind. Dystopian, yeah, maybe it can. That's a good point. Current steel can't support it. Yeah, I would say there's a good argument for that. So yeah, maybe. And again, is version 3 more promising? Maybe it is. Version 2 does seem to be struggling, that's for sure. And yes, Sherry, it was during the whole drone thing. Yes, it was an amazing experience. And by the way, the only reason, RL, the only reason I'll ever say these sorts of things about Starship is if I believe it. I don't give a damn about views. I'll only say these things because I believe it, because that is what I think. People who have been watching my channel long enough, and anybody who knows me well enough, knows for sure that I am only going to talk about things that I actually legitimately believe in. And it's going to get people mad, and that's just how it is. I would say my channel gets people more worked up and irritated than most. But, it is what it is, and that is how I run this thing. Anyway, let us continue. Let's see. Why am I visiting Australia? I achieved my funding for the visit. I'm visiting Australia for a number of reasons. Number one, because about 15% of my viewers are there, and that's thousands and thousands of subscribers. I'd love to go see them. Number two, there are many spaceports that are cropping up all over Australia. I also would like to check into Australia's current spaceflight industry. As a matter of fact, one of them just emailed me today offering me a tour. Very, very exciting stuff. So there's just a lot of stuff to see. And of course, I want to go to New Zealand because of Rocket Lab and other things as well.
Wouldn't work if it was an astronaut.
All right, let's see here. Oh, Sherry Barney says exactly like the one I see is zip forward, then slow, then move in another direction. It stayed with other stars as they moved. Yep. And actually, I've seen films. Actually, I did film that object, but I've seen other films as well. The intelligence behind the most advanced UAP. Well, once again, I would say that the most advanced UAP that we're seeing are nothing more than, now, of course, there could be some with biological creatures inside, but I'm thinking that most of them just have more advanced artificial intelligence than we currently have. Good enough artificial intelligence and technology to make sure that we can't capture them. I really have some significant doubts that we have actually captured any of these things. Maybe we have, but then again, I would say that they're probably good enough to avoid us. And they're surveying our planet. They may not even have a particular interest in us. They may just be here as part of an overall plan to explore any promising planet in the Goldilocks zone of any G-class star, or any main sequence star. They might not have known that there was an intelligent civilization here at all. Because keep in mind, we're looking at, if we're talking about a point of origin over 100 light years away, that means that they saw us when we were in our industrial revolutionary phase when they sent something out. So there's a lot of things that they might not know. By the way, some folks have been saying some nice things about the channel in the midst of this conversation, so thank you. That really means a lot. AI from the future, you know what? Like I say, I'm open-minded enough to say that there's a lot of things that are possible, but do I believe that it's true? I need some tangible evidence of some kind, and I think that I think we have more than enough tangible evidence that there's something in our skies. And in my opinion, it's extraterrestrial because of all the connections now, just recently, that have been drawn between things that have been sighted or photographed actually in low Earth orbit, or perhaps in geosynchronous orbit, and back down. Yes, Dr. Simon Holland and I commonly talk to each other, actually. Great guy. Indeed. Let's see, what else? Would it be a good idea for SpaceX to send humanoid robots to Mars before they send? Yes, I totally think that we should send robots first before we do anything. Unquestionably. Mars is going to be dangerous for a lot of different reasons. And the more information that we can get about Mars before we send human beings into there, the better. When I first began to question that something was off related to the subject, and the folks I'm sorry, I'm missing that question. I apologize. Not sure. Okay, we'll continue. Let's see here. I'm looking for others. Oh, is Marina here? Did Marina join us? I didn't see her, but if she has. Oh, Marina, hello. Thank you very much for joining us today. There's another Ukrainian who's actually in the chat as well with us today. So thanks very much for being here. So definitely we've got 2 Ukrainians at least anyway that are currently watching this. Really, really appreciate you being here. Keith, thank you so much. Yeah, Jerry Anderson's UFO, that was a great TV series. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Really appreciate it. Not proved and in investigations. I think you're talking about UFOs, but not sure. Keith, wow, thank you for the $5 again. Best TV series, Jerry Anderson's UFOs. Again, super appreciated. And so you've been entered, obviously, into the... By the way, guys, just so you know, once again, we're doing a drawing for this shirt. In 2029, Kiss Your Asteroids, Goodbye shirt. And real quick, also, in terms of the merch store, I talked to my merch folks, and we are keeping the store open for one more week right now. We've extended it out for 1 week simply because they sent me all of those Oumuamua samples, and they only arrived a few days ago. And so Sunline thought that maybe if I had more time to actually wear the shirts, for example, I'm wearing one of them right now. But in any event, so we're keeping the shop open for one more week. And also, we're adding a new item, guys. A new item. Super excited about it. It is definitely an angry astronaut kind of item. Thank you very much. By the way, hello, Nottingham. Thanks for joining us today. Home and minimum energy transfer shirt. Thanks. I really appreciate that, Anton Nim. It's a very, very cool shirt, and totally agree. And by the way, Sunline's artists are the ones who created all of these designs. They came up with all of these. I mean, I had the concepts, just sort of the background concepts. But, 3DFX says, would we be able to detect ETs that are 1 million years more advanced than us or 1 billion years more advanced? That's a very good question. Maybe not. Something that advanced, I mean, I would say they could watch us as much as they like and totally avoid us noticing them unless they want us to notice them. Otherwise, I think they could care less. So yeah, I agree. It would be very, very difficult indeed to see anything that's from a civilization that's 1 million years more advanced than humans. That would be mind-boggling. Are we going to get full disclosure? I think is what we're saying. It says Dr. Winston. I think no. Probably not. I really don't trust the government to give us full disclosure on anything. I've never really trusted them to do the right thing. It's just, I don't care who the president is. I don't care which party's in charge. I never trust the government to ever do the right thing. It's as simple as that. I have a very cynical attitude about government. And you know what, though? If a government does come out with full disclosure on this concept, I would be super, super excited. Mike, in terms of my Australia goal, I'm 61% of the way there the last time I checked. 61%. Nerdrotic, a live stream series called Forbidden Frontier. That would be cool. I'll check that out. Thank you, Accident Seller. That sounds very interesting. And you are also entered into the drawing. Again, just so you know, anybody who's made a super chat tonight, you are entered into a drawing for a shirt. And we're getting pretty close to the time to where we'll be doing that. So, pardon me?
2 minutes remaining.
Okay, thank you. Really appreciate that. By the way, guys, I need to emphasize we have another live stream coming up after this one. I should have been emphasizing this all the way through. We're going to be doing a Discord live stream for members. In other words, folks who have access to Discord. We're going to do another 30-minute live stream after this one. So just so you know, we're going to transition straight over to a second live stream for anybody who's a supporter on Patreon. Jesse, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. It's a very kind thing to say. If I had the evidence to suggest the consciousness aspects were real and reasonably, that means for personal contact. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I have used 3DFX. I have actually used telescopes in the past. I am interested in astronomy, but I don't currently have a telescope. The first one I had was an Edmund Astroscan back in the 1980s when I was a kid. I also had a Meade Instruments telescope at one point. But in any event, yeah. Alrighty. Well, we are, yes. You know what? I'll answer the question, though. People who beg for money, beggars don't offer you anything in return. Somebody who says, do you got any change when you're walking out of the grocery store or something and you give them 50 cents or 50p or something like that, they don't give you anything back. Every time I ask for financial support, I'm giving you something back. I agree, it's not your responsibility to pay for this if you don't want to. I get it. But at the same time, in order to go to a place like Australia, I simply can't do it on my own without financial support. And so therefore, that's why I have to ask. But the difference is, a beggar doesn't give you anything back. I'm going to bring you some fantastic content unlike anything you have ever seen before. So, answered your question. Thanks. Okay, let's go ahead and let's see. What else do we have in terms of the discussion? Want to make sure if there you have any other questions before we wrap it up and do our drawing. We want to, producer, is there a way for us to get a rundown of all of the super chat folks and in a single grouping, or can we, or can I'll figure it out myself if I have to.
Dystopian. Have you got a list of names? Could you pull a draw for me?
Okay, we're going to get a list of names here. In the meantime, go ahead and if you have other questions, would it be possible for SpaceX to bring one of the Boring company's tunnel drills to Mars? Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jonas, I think that that's always kind of been in their plans, because the Boring company, again, drilling transport tunnels under the surface of the ground, if you can do that, then if you have if you can have as much transportation as possible taking place subsurface, that protects you from radiation. James, I actually already did do something about the Bugosphere. Go ahead and look that up. I already have a video out on that. So I actually came out with that a few days after that hit the news wires. So, but yeah, like I say, I always wanted. I appreciate this, the supportive words that have been, the supportive comments that have been made. But like I say, I'm sure there are people who are thinking this without saying anything. I want to make sure I answer everybody's concerns on all of this. You know, like I say, I deeply, deeply appreciate everybody's support, and I always give you something back for it. So thank you very much for that. All right, what else do we got here? Oh, Babsu, hello. Thank you for joining us today. It has indeed been a while. Really, really appreciate you joining us. It has been a while. All right, right now we've got the staff compiling our list. So we can of super chats, so we can do our giveaway. If somebody wants to throw in another super chat at this point, you can feel free. You'll automatically get added to.
I think he's pulling a drawer as we speak.
To the list. Oh, okay, you're pulling it. Okay, I'm sorry. We're pulling a random drawing right now, guys. Drum roll, everybody. Yep. Okay. So we got one of our staff members. What are the opinion of the landing sites for Mars chosen by SpaceX? Even though they are good landing sites in terms of where water is likely to be, I disagree with the location. I think that they should pick landing sites down in the Valles Marineris. There's a number of reasons for that. Number one, we have found very strong evidence for lots and lots of water ice in the Valles Marineris. Number two, as deep as the Valles Marineris is, that means the atmosphere is a little bit more dense down there, meaning that you get even more protection from radiation. Also, the Valles Marineris is located virtually on the Martian equator, meaning that you have much warmer temperatures than in other regions of the planet, whereas the SpaceX sites are about 20 degrees or so, 15 to 20 degrees north of the equator. You get much better temperatures in the Valles Marineris. So overall, in my opinion, I think that is the best solution. Plus, the Valles Marineris is one of the most spectacular regions of the solar system. We're talking a Grand Canyon the size of the United States. Okay, here we go. Here's our winner, guys. Here's our winner. Drum roll. The winner of the Angry Astronaut in 2029, Kiss Your Asteroids Goodbye, is Javier Castro. Javier Castro is the winner tonight, the super chat supporter who threw in his help tonight, chosen at random. As I said, Javier Castro, my email is in the description. Make sure that you get your information, your contact information to me, or you can also, yes, exactly. Find my email there so you can get the address. If you live in the Americas, or if you live in Europe or anything along those lines, it'll be easy for me to get this to you. If you are in a more remote region of the world. It may be more challenging. It may not be able to cover all of the shipping costs, but in any of, because sometimes the shipping costs are like $100 to some of these places. So in any event, but if you live in this region of either in the Americas or in Europe somewhere, or even in the Australia, New Zealand regions, I can make that work too. So thank you very much, Javier Castro, for your support, and congratulations on winning that shirt. And by the way, 2 more shirts, Mua shirts, guys, going out to random supporters on my GoFundMe to Australia, that we are over 60% of the way there on that as well. You guys are fantastic. The best viewers on YouTube by far. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Had a great time. And if you are on a Discord member, if you are on Discord, we are transitioning directly to a Discord member live stream right now. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay angry about space.